What's up, everybody? Once again, coming to you with some of my reaction after this weekend set of basketball games. That's right. Anyway, so we're gonna run through because I was like, ain't no point of just sticking to and going feature by feature, film by film. I was like, that ain't what this is. Anyway, I was like, one, injuries like crazy. And once that sort of happens, anything that you thought beforehand, you just gotta take it out. So here we thought the Bucks, which are gonna run away against Miami Heat. I mean, it's going to me, it's gonna be a physical game. You ain't gonna get through Miami no easy, but they really only got like Bam, who sometimes show up. Butler always come through. You was gonna say Hero, but that dude done broke his hand, and that's it. I mean, I guess maybe I was like they threw in Duncanson, whatever his name is, making a lot of money. He's shooting three, can't play defense, but so you might have to throw him out there, get some of your offense in there. You're gonna have to hold Kyle Lowry to pull him out them 20-point, 30-point game, like like the game he had in the play-in or whatnot. You probably gonna have to hope you could just like out Victor Oladipo. Hope he still got that inside of him to come out and play. Maybe you get a couple games or whatever. But I was like, but then on the other side, Giannis, if he hurt like that, then all of a sudden it's Drew Holiday and Middleton. I, to me now that was a really even series. I was like, you would think Middleton and Drew can outscore Butler and Bam, because to be honest, the Bucks got way more offensive options or whatever. But the defense is like now the way they play defense. Now you gotta have them role players like step up. Can Allen hit enough three? Can Connington hit enough three? Can Portis and Lopez all of a sudden just be out here scoring? That's a different task to take once you over here. You playing off those other two, three, and you getting wide open looks or whatever. So I was like, we would have said the Bucks. Now this might be like a 5-6 game series. Either way now at this point. Going to the Denver Timberwolves game, I was like, I really had hope OKC won, because I felt like they would have actually been able to give Denver an actual run to where I'm like Denver would have won, but I'd have been like, ooh, I was like, this is gonna be a good series. Then they gonna push it. Timberwolves, as much as I'm like Edwards, I was like, he had to go bonkers in order for this, because I was like, Rudy is like damn, he was getting cooked on the defensive end. Don't find none on the offensive end. They would just he was not even there. Cat, I swear to God, he's the most you hope. I was like, if it was 2K, Colin in town gonna give you buckets. Real life, sure, whatever. And the thing is you would think that they would have enough talent to make it a game. Maybe I was like, not win, but make it a game. I was like, Jokic wasn't even going crazy like Jokic played, but still, they were just getting cooked, and at that point, they might be able to pull out a game. I was like, I don't really. I'm not gonna say any sweep. Okay, I was like, I lied. I was like, okay, so they'll be able to pull out a game. That's all I got. I was gonna say there's gonna be no sweeps, but we're gonna get to the one I think might be a sweep. I think Celtics and Atlanta gonna be a sweep. I was like, I'm not a Trae Young fan or whatever. Like I see I know the things he could do. He could pass really well. I was like, some of his stuff, I was like, some of the way I was like, I feel like people talk about his pass, and I'm like, he's really flashy with his pattern. He gets over people, but I don't feel like he sets them. He not a person that like set him up or like boom he get like I feel like Westbrook could do that. We know like CP3 could do that. I don't feel like his passes are like that, but his shooting is also not. To me, it's not within the offense in a way that like Curry, who he got compared to, or even Dame, or like Mitchell, or nothing like that. Like his shooting is not like that. His shooting and that's why I feel like everybody else sort of gets out of whack of they ain't get their touches or there's no rhythm or nothing like that. Anyway, I was like not gonna stay too long on this one. Celtics is gonna go through them because I was like Brown, Tatum, Brogdon, White. There are too many. There are too many people out here that's gonna be it. That get buckets or whatever. That's not even putting it. If Smart actually just comes to actually plays a bit of shooting and Horford who can make shots and stuff like. Nah, they defense is way too bad. They could switch to all of them dudes. It's over. It's over. It's nothing. Okay, so anyway, with the one I was excited about, Lakers, Memphis. I was like, if you would have asked me beforehand, I'd have probably been like Lakers in 7, and I was like, when Davis went down, I was like, oh snap, this might be a wrap. But he came back. Now Ja hurt, and I was just saying, I was like, without Ja, I don't give him, because I was like, to me that's too much to put on Jaren Jackson to score, be his defensive self, but also playing defense against Davis while you don't have anybody else to really rotate him out with or whatnot. Especially, they like Kyle Anderson last year, then Adams and Clark is hurt. I think it's too much for him. Brooks, I like Brooks and all his trolling and all that other stuff, but he's not a shooter, not an offensive dude like that to negate that. Bane while he can score. I'm like, yeah, but now you gonna have to really step up. You ain't playing off nothing or nothing like that. Nah, it's on you, buddy. But Tyus Jones is really good point guard. So I was like, he will be able to negate it a bit because he'll be able to put everybody in like some good spots to play with pace or whatever. He get himself to the basket or whatnot. So, but I mean, while I was like, I ain't gonna lie, didn't see all this in Reeves, but he is him. That boy is him. Rui, I think this is. I was like, this is probably the most optimistic way of seeing him because I'm like, this is sort of what you thought you would probably get at some point in his development from Washington, but it never happened. But this is sort of, his shooting is streaky, but I like this is sort of what you thought you would be able to get. David played good. LeBron played good. D'Angelo gave them some good minutes. Malik Beasley still ain't nowhere to been found, but he's too much of a threat running across the floor. So I'm like, that's still better than nothing. And Vanderbilt, I was like, defense, energy, and I'm like, on the team with all the other people, there's nothing else you really ask for. I was like, Sacramento and the Warriors. I was like, that was a pretty fun game. I was like, I still feel like this one could really go either way. Like this one might push or whatever. Because, I was like, even though the Kings are a good team, with like Fox and Sabonis, and I was like, Monk is being him and Herter being way better than I thought they would be. I was like, seeing Monk on the Hornets and being like, oh, you blame on the Hornets. You pretty good with the Lakers or whatever. And the red white rifle. I was like, you see that Atlanta could use a little bit of that, because I was like, you sort of need another dude that could score the ball or whatnot. But this game, I was like, but Curry is just so great that I imagine I'm like, if he takes over a game, he can negate all them, and you never know what you go get from Clay as far as like he gonna give you, oh okay cool, Clay was good today, and then oh my God, Clay was bombing all day today or whatever, and they just get one of them rhythm where it just clicks, so you don't know what you're gonna get with that. So I was like, but the thing is, it's like even like because we give Golden State the defense. I was like that they could play defense. They got some good defensive players. Wiggins coming back. They got Payton and Green and Looney, like good rebounds and stuff like that. But the Kings on offense, where it's like you got De'Aaron Fox shoot a three. I was like drive the lane. Sabonis is always a rebound machine around the bucket and whatnot. And then you got all the other people. You got Murray, and you got Barnes. They can shoot threes, and you got Herter and Monk, who are just like offensive sparks off the bench. So even with your defense, their offense is, I think, so good that it can negate all that as well. So, you know, uh, Phoenix Suns, Clippers. I would have picked Phoenix before the game. Now I'm over here thinking Clippers. And it's really because I feel like, as talented as Book and especially KD, I think it's sort of hard. I mean, not hard, but easy to forget that Kawhi Leonard is like that dude. Like, it's one of the weird things where it's like, you see KD and everything so effortless with him. That's like shoot three, smooth J, get to the basket. But then you see Kawhi, and it's just like it's like a very tactical, like boom boom shot, boom boom this. Go ahead, take a three. I ain't about to do no moves. And but the way it just seemed like you feel like, oh snap, Kawhi is taking over this game. Kawhi, you feel his points in a different way, and that really goes really well with Westbrook and his energy, because cause the thing is, Westbrook, him having that amount of shot attempts, one, he's been doing it forever, but the way his energy is and the way you sort of get his shot, where a lot of his shots are just like fast pace, boom, fast pace, boom, fast pace, boom, and he's moving the pace that it's not really as horrible, especially on a team like this, like compared to how he was with the Lakers, than you would think it is, because of his energy and his tenacity and all that other stuff, and the stuff you can't really put in on a sheet to see how he's able to play. Like, you seen how he came up with like how he playing defense on a couple people, and he was able to get the turnover and stuff like that on Booker. That I'm like, that stuff you just can't count for. You just can't count for it. Whatever. Fun game. Cleveland and the Knicks. I was waiting for this one once this got matched up, because it's like the whole Mitchell, New York, seeing Brunson, and everybody remember how Brunson was in the playoffs. And boy, he was basically that same Brunson once he was able to stay on the floor. But for a minute there, I was like, oh my God, that boy Mitchell. I was like, the way he looked, I thought he was going to try to go for 50. He was trying to do that 70 again, because that boy was just hitting shots. And I've always been up and down on Mitchell. I was like, when he first came in the league, I was really high on him. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, this offensive dude. Then you see him in the playoffs, and I was like, he's always going crazy for the playoffs. But the last couple years kind of been like, yeah, he's in the playoff, but sometimes I felt weird when I was like, I'm like, okay, he can get hot at any point. But then sometimes it just felt like, okay, he just shooting shots, and then he ain't playing no defense. And granted, he's like the main offensive nucleus of Utah, but it just felt like for you to be put on this level, you wasn't really giving all that. It was like, I'm gonna just shoot buckets and I'm gonna go get buckets. Now I was like, hell, he got Mobley and he got Allen also behind him. Sometimes throw a Coro in there at the three or whatever. They try to throw Seti on uh, Brunson a couple times. I was like, I mean, Seti cool. I was like, I guess you're trying to use some height or whatever like that. But nah, that dude Mitchell bad. I was like, he was going crazy. But if Mobley and Allen is not negating Mitchell and Randall, because Randall giving them that work, and LeVert's not really giving you anything, while Hart's over here just in everything or whatever, then I was like, I think the Knicks might be able to get out of this one. Which I was like, this has been another game that I was like, I don't know who gonna do, because I was like, I think it's one of them things that if you would have seen beforehand, you'd been like, oh, Mitchell is way better than Brunson, even though Brunson been really good this year. But now it's starting to be like, maybe it's just because Mitchell dunks and he could just shoot some threes that is like, it looks pretty. Where Brunson just be getting basket. Boy, shifty, crafty. He got it. So, you know, uh, Nets, Sixers. Nah, they ain't nothing. I mean, kudos, Mikhail, because I like now he looking like, hey, he may not be a person that could be the star of your team, but now he looks like he's able to be. I was like, he could at least be number 3. He could at least be number 3. I was like, and we'll see if his growth happens. But nah, this is pretty much as the Sixers about to just bolt right through him. This ain't about to be nothing more, nothing less of a matchup. I was like, so that one pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Quick rundown, even though I'm pretty sure the time long, but try to give a little bit of stuff from as much of the game best that I was able to see or whatnot. But this seems like it's going to be one of the more fun playoffs in the last couple of years, where you don't know, like the West, you really don't know who's going to be winning that series. The East is a little bit more simple. I was like, depending on how Giannis goes, but for the most part, other than that one but that kind of injury, Cleveland and Knicks is really the only other one that's a toss up. Celtics and Sixers is going to be taken out, and that's not even going to be a thing. So anyway, that was just my 2%. That little amount that you need to get through the day. Anyway, appreciate listening to this. You enjoy it. I was like, thanks. If not, might turn you around. But we'll see. Till next time, deuces.